give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Called the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway remains one of the most unique and demanding circuits in all of motorsports. Nestled in the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, this 2.5-mile tri-oval still challenges drivers with 3 distinctly different corners. Turn 1 banked at 14 degrees, Turn 2 at 8, and Turn 3 at just 6, each inspired by a different iconic speedway. Those 3 turns are tied together by 3 very different straightaways, including the longest front stretch in NASCAR at 3,740 feet, creating a rhythm unlike anywhere else on the schedule. It's a place where compromise is everything. A setup that flies through Turn 1 can struggle in the flat corners, and the speed you gain down the straightaways can cost you grip when it matters most. Add in heavy braking into Turn 3, sometimes even a gear change, and you've got one of the toughest tracks to get exactly right. Since opening in 1969 and expanding to its current layout in 1971, Pocono has built a legacy across generations of racing. From IndyCar legends like Mario Andretti and A.J. Foyt battling in the 500-mile classics, to Richard Petty capturing the inaugural NASCAR Cup race here in 1974, this track has always delivered something different. And tonight, the same challenge belongs to a new generation. The Tricky Triangle sets the stage for strategy, speed, and survival. It's a 3-wide with DJG 200, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Pocono Raceway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, joined in the broadcast booth by Colt Ansley. How we doing, Colt? And did we lose Colt? I think we might have lost Colt. Mic check 1, 2, Colt. Make sure it's plugged in. All right, well, we'll move on until he can figure it out. He's got things muted now, but we're in the warm-up session, practice and qualifying already in the books here. Penultimate race of the season. We wind the schedule down here. 3-wide with DJG 200 this evening, and then we move to Homestead Miami Speedway next week to wrap things up. Zach Millett on the precipice of a championship. May just need to take the green flag here tonight to lock up those honors. We'll confirm that post-race, but we've got some action in store here tonight. Race detail-wise, 80 laps the distance this evening, and 80% fuel should give the drivers 25 to 30 laps on a full tank. 4 tire sets available over the wall, 0 faster pairs, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. We've had varying discussions with drivers this evening about what the fuel load is going to look like. 25 to 30 laps. We've heard 26 to 31, 27 to 31, so we'll kind of give you a bigger window. 25 to 30 laps is what's expected, at least for the time being. Warm-up session underway. Zach Millett, fastest so far, 54.645 the time over the number 3 of Brian McCann with a 7.63. Mike Koch, Carson Quapple, TJ Majors, the top 5.
Good evening, Steve. You got me?
Hey, there he is. Did you unplug it? What'd you do?
My Stream Deck decided it hates Discord now, so.
Well, my fingers crossed. I don't have to worry about that. Are you using it as a push to talk, or what are you doing?
That's just my mute button, but I'm going to turn that off to the side and not worry about it right now. That's a problem for future, Colt.
Fair enough. We've had a big update here today. There was a NVIDIA update, there's a Discord update, an OBS update, so fingers crossed we don't have any more gremlins here tonight. And to make matters worse, we're dodging lightning bolts here in upstate New York right now, so hopefully we don't lose any power. At least the internet's underground, but the electricity, not so much. We are having a little bit of screen shutter here. make adjustments as needed. And that's it for the warm-up session, so we'll get right into our starting grid here in just a moment. Colt, before we really get to that, what's the key to success around this tricky triangle?
It is save, save, save. You want to minimize the brake heat, almost like you would a short track. And, my personal favorite way to get around here is lift and coast for quite a while. Get the car pointed the direction you want to go, and then get back on the gas. I tend to drive this car or this track with a lot looser setup than a lot of guys do, and knowing this is a fixed setup, it tends to be a little bit tighter. So these guys are going to be wanting to get the nose pointed as quickly as they can, all while not burning the rubber off the right front tire.
With all that said here, let's take a look at it. Our starting grid for the 3-wide with DJG 200, 54.902. The lap time for the 31 is Zach Millett. Almost a full tenth faster than the second-place machine of Brian McCann. McCann, 77 thousandths off that time. Row number 2, it's TJ Majors and Dylan Pettis. Row 3, it'll be Mike Koch and Carson Quappo. In the 4th row, Gavin Hinson and Casey Bentz. Row number 5, it's the 81 of Steve Durbin, flanked by the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Starting in the 11th position, it will be the 22 of Adam Benefiel. Timmy Schofield will roll off in the 12th spot. 13th starter, it's Cameron Brownlow. Steven Steffen will be 14th. Evan Vecchia, 15th. Josh Mears goes to the 16th position. Brent Butler, 17th. 18th starter, it's Stephen Luttrell. 19th, Jason Nilgis. Austin Beers back this week in the 20th starting position. 21st is Devin Aker. Chris Harrison, 22nd. Slade Benish will be 23rd. 24th, William Tyndall. Chris Quick, 25th. 26th is Kyle Hardy. Matthew Moorman back in the 27th position. Chris Wally, 28th. Kyle White will start 29th. 30th, Zachary Cleek. 31st, Neil Quick. Chuck Sweeting, 32nd, and shotgun on the field, the number 16 of Marty Lindley. And it does appear Lindley has not taken to the track here. He may just be taking last place points or hanging out with the boys. Do have a little stutter here.
There we go.
It's tied to the Discord. Whenever I try to stream to another user on Discord at anything higher than 480p, I start losing frames on the render side. Not so much the network side, but we just killed the quality for Colt, so all you people can watch this one here tonight as we get set for the green flag.
I'll enjoy the race in N64 graphics. That way y'all can enjoy it in 4K.
I'm going to go with the 6 of TJ Majors here on this one. Green flag is in the air. Go ahead, Colt, with your pick.
I got to take the cheap pick. I'm going to go with Zach Millett. I think he's going to lock it up tonight.
There we go. Green flag in the air as they roll down this massive front stretch down into turn number 1. It's Millett and McCann.
McCann gets a good exit off of turn 1. Millett jumping up in front of TJ Majors. Remember what happened last time those two did that.
Millett going to take care of the right front here. Settles back into P3 as McCann jumps out in front. Majors to second. 4th position, it's Dylan Pettis in the number 19. Dylan's got a wrong paint scheme on here tonight, but we know who he is. Looking to the inside of Pettis is the 5 of Carson Quappo. First lap in the books. Brian McCann leads lap 1.
But TJ Majors drove it in way deep into turn 1 there.
I just have a feeling TJ's going to be fast here tonight. I don't know what it is about tracks that end up being somewhat close to somebody's hometown. That's usually where they tend to be just that much faster. TJ's got pace just about everywhere we go anyway, but you add that into the mix, it could be a deadly combination. I tend to be pretty quick at Watkins Glen. Zach Millett, a New Yorker as well. He's lightning fast there as well. But TJ Majors, Out of Western New York, not too far of a drive from Pocono Raceway. Wouldn't call it a home track necessarily.
And you can just kind of see confidence in drivers. You can see TJ on that initial start drove right by Zach Millett like he wasn't even there. And Zach Millett's going to look to the inside now.
Quapple tucks in behind the 6. Out of turn 1. Millett unable to complete the pass. I think Millet's just trying TJ on for size here to see what's going to happen here now that everybody's out there in real competition, not just in practice form, as Kyle Hardy may have had a problem here on the speedway, and he has. He's already back into the pits. Something happening here to the 35 of Kyle Hardy early. And I think Kyle White's in trouble as well. He's parked it in pit lane, so no caution for this incident. Let's try to get a look what just happened. It's by himself.
Oh.
Maybe a hardware issue at home. Let's see what happened to Kyle White.
Very similar deal.
At the same time, that's also very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where they are geographically to each other. I don't know if maybe there's a storm nearby or what, but those two have just had the toughest luck lately.
See, Kyle White's showing a mechanical black flag, though, so something definitely happened to that machine. I don't know if he had a money shift somewhere. And by money shift, I mean you go to gear 2 instead of gear 3. Now TJ losing connection a moment there. Carson Quapple almost driving right to the back bumper of the 6.
Well, Steve, there's nothing scarier than driving into a high-speed corner like that and the car in front of you just disappearing, because there is no telling where they are. And when they reappear back in the world, iRacing doesn't know the difference. And we've had a couple of what we call moonshots where you'll take flight as soon as you spawn back in. The hitbox will reattach, and you're not supposed to be inside of another car.
Working lap number 5 as Brian McCann continues to lead over TJ Majors, Carson Quapple. Quapple's up 3 positions. He's not wasting any time here, marching his way towards the front into the top 3. Millett runs 4th. Dylan Pettis 5th. Further down the line, Gavin Hinson P6. Dale Jr. up to 7th. He's gained 3 positions. Adam Benefiel also forward 3 into the 8th spot. White Koch 9th. Steve Durbin runs 10th. Stream chat already getting busy here. Didn't get a chance to look at that as we were battling some hiccups to start this one. But David Warmuth says he's got the cooler full, ice-cold beer, ready to watch some racing. We got Robbie Adams, Hinson or bust. Robbie asking if he needs him to fill in. I may be slightly biased, though. Tom Janikowski, typically. Evil King. Who else we got here? Michael Murray. Let's go Brownlow. Evans Production. Cheering on Cameron Brownlow. Margaret W4S2S. Let's go Benish. Shady Acres once again cheering on Kyle Hardy. Shady Acres, if you can let us know, maybe if you know what happened to Kyle Hardy there, we'd appreciate that. And of course, 4 Wide Motorsports Network says, what's up, guys? Let's get it, Steve Luttrell.
Carson Quapple dipped his left front tire down below the yellow line there. A little early, I think, to be testing out that line. I don't know if maybe he just got some bad air on him, as a couple cars out of line back there.
I think it might have been 7 of Evan Vecchia. Yeah, it was an orange car. Matt Mormon there in the 60. A lot of drivers kind of scattering there off turn 3.
You see that front 8 or so of cars, they're all lined up now, probably front 10 or 12, but it is such a hornet's nest back here, and everybody thinks that they're fast enough to get past everyone else. You're just sitting there squabbling for position, literally burning laps off of your tires, and there's nothing more frustrating than getting stuck near the back of the pack. Not that any of these guys are slow or anything, but just the air is so distorted. You can see this lead pack is pulling away from them just because they're dragging each other back.
Carson Quapple made the pass on TJ Majors for P2, and now Millett going back to the whip here to try and take third away.
Ooh. 19 of Pettis got a little loose side one.
Loose as fast as he dips the nose alongside the 31 of Millett. Oh, and we got trouble. Oh. 7 is around. That's Cameron Brownlow in big trouble and no caution. Brownlow stationary here on the backstretch. He'll tow to pit lanes. Oh, and now the caution comes out. Comes out very, very late. So at the time, McCann and Quapple 1 and 2.
You could see Brownlow rolling the car. He was trying to get it fired, hoping they could get it going just enough that he could get to the pits and see what kind of repairs he had. But unfortunately, the motor was gone. Couldn't get it refired, had to get it towed.
4Wide Motorsports asking no Strader tonight. I don't see him in the lineup, so unfortunately, no Christian Strader here at Pocono as we wind this season down. See what happened here to Cameron Brownlow a moment ago. Josh Mears to the inside. Feeling there's going to be a little contact here. Yes, there was indeedy. Big hit for Vecchia. Back in the day, he would have rolled that down into the grass, but anybody's old enough to remember that 1992 crash with Davey Allison down the straightaway, tumbling, almost getting into the wrecker truck.
Yeah, that was unfortunately just a misjudgment from Josh Mears. He was trying to get back behind Brownlow there and wasn't quite clear of him. He was trying to slot in so he didn't get freight trained on the outside, and yeah, just a really unfortunate incident there.
So 8 laps in here, Colt. I don't think anybody's going to hit pit lane, or will we see it?
I think you're going to see fuel. These guys are going to try to loosen the car up as much as we can.
They stay out.
Carson Quapple about did a Jeff Napier there. If you know, you know, but he about barrel rolled the car getting off of pit road.
Yeah, well, at least we started the race.
Fair point.
So Quapple and Majors pull a big fake here, and they stay out on the racetrack. I don't know if it was really a fake. Maybe it was a fake for them, but I think these guys were coming anyway. As you said, Colt, fuel only, I think, for everybody. So they're going to throw some tires on, though. Millett's going right sides at least.
McCann's going to go forward.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see what the fall-off looks like. McCann's going to beat everybody off pit lane. Cameron Brownlow still sits stationary in his pit box. Does look like the 21 of Stefan has some damage on his machine also.
It looks like the front end's kind of center punch. I don't see any damage anywhere else.
While we have an opportunity here, we'll take a look at the point standings coming into tonight as we get close to the end of the season here. Zach Millett with 2290 before the green flag. It's about 353 points. Math is not the greatest, but that's what we're going with over Garrett Johnston. Brian McCann third, then it's Chuck Sweeting and TJ Majors still in the top 5, even though he did miss last week's race. Nilgis, Hardy, Christian Strader, 8th. He's going to fall a little bit here tonight, missing this race. Neil Quick, Gavin Hinson, the top 10.
Steve, I also don't see Garrett Johnston in the lineup tonight. Just kind of scrolling through my leaderboard here.
No, I don't see him either, so that's a tough break for the number 2 in the standings. So I think that's a lock for Zach Millett. Pull it back up here again. McCann's back only 6 points off of Johnston, so McCann will likely jump up to P2 at the end of this race. If I remember, I think Johnston's in the middle of moving. I don't know if his rig and everything's all set back up yet or not. That might be why he is not present here this evening. I think he missed last week also. Is that correct?
I believe so.
So we're lined up, double file, trying to get a little more organized here before we go back to green, but pace car lights are out, so we're ready for the restart the next time by.
And Steve, a couple interesting notes. It wasn't just TJ and Carson that stayed out. It was the whole top 6, at least as they line up now, before Brian McCann, first one on fresh tires, then Zach Millett. But another interesting note, I saw TJ Majors trying to cool his tires a significant amount. There is a, how do I put this, a way to cool the tires using a certain surface on the racetrack, and I won't say what it is, so I don't get yelled at later.
Well, is it paved at least? You can at least say if it's paved.
It's paved. It's paved. It's not that one. I think they fixed that one.
All right.
But it appears to me, yeah, he was trying to cool his tires back down. That way they don't get above that slip threshold.
Well, we'll see if it pays off for these guys in the top 6 that stayed on the racetrack. They're going to have the advantage later on, but they're going to possibly suffer here. Field back to the main straightaway. Green flag back in the air. It's Quapple and Majors coming to green.
A couple cars out of line. It appears they didn't get the lineup correct. Never mind for the leaders, though. They're off and running.
Quapple maintains the top spot. TJ Majors in second. Adam Benefiel up into the 3rd position. Off turn 1.
Oh, Brian McCann.
We got a big one here.
Save us a little here. Nice and smooth. Cool your tires off. Get your fans on.
It looked worse than I think it was. It seemed that everybody straightened it back out relatively quickly. Dale Jr. got a piece of that one also. Let's see how Jr.'s looking. Car looks okay. Robbie Adams in the chat says, how many sets of tires did they have? They had 4 sets over the wall and 80% fuel. I think it was about 25 or 30 laps, depending on where you were on the racetrack and how you decided you wanted to manage that fuel.
Those in cars that have 3 sets now. Yeah, talk about a jump scare. I'm sitting there writing notes down about who stayed out, and I glance up, and there's a puff of smoke out of the corner of my eye.
I was de-shelling an empty can. But you think it started with McCann, so we'll take a look here what happened to the 3. His second caution of the night, and I think he just runs into the back of the 17 here. At first glance, they don't have this in iRacing, but I would have thought someone lost a rear end and dumped fluid on the racetrack.
Yeah, that was, it appears to be, yeah, he hit him from behind.
Of course, he made a little contact there, and he's got it hard in the brakes to try to avoid, and it just comes around on him. I think Junior's kind of in the same boat.
I would imagine Junior was sitting there saying a 6-letter phrase that whole corner. But yeah, I mean, I think McCann was trying to keep up with Millett being on the fresh tires. Evan Vecchia was obviously on the older tires, had to lift earlier, and McCann just misjudged it. When he hit him, he slammed on the brakes with wheel input into it, and it just turned him around. As well as when you hit another car like that, it just unloads the rear end and around it goes.
I think everybody got through that okay.
I think it was just the 17-3 and there's
Tyndall
62
got a big
spinning.
piece. And the 71. That's Chris Harrison.
None of them appeared to be overly hard hits.
So caution number 2 on the speedway here at Pocono Raceway as we finish up lap 13. And I think the drivers that opted to stay out on that first caution know that they've made their bed. They're going to continue to nap in that. Kind of marinate in that strategy a little bit here. See how it pays off. We really didn't get an opportunity to see how effective it was going to be. But you see TJ there with the left sides in the grass again. I mean, you'd kind of think he got a lot of cooling done from that last caution and now into this one. We only had about, I think it was a half lap of green, really.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain here trying to figure out what happened. I thought they had hit there, maybe realizing that they had possibly made a mistake, but no, they stayed out. As far as I can see,
yeah,
unless everybody else followed them down.
Yeah, I don't show any data of those guys pitting. So it's Majors, Quapple, Benefiel, Pettis, Casey Bentz, still on their original set of tires. Millett there with 4. He's going to restart, I think, 5th. And then Evan Vecchia, the number 17, he's 8th. He has stayed out. Chris Wally's in the same boat. So there's a lot of drivers that opted for this strategy. Not a ton, but enough to make you go, huh. Robbie Adams in the chat says he's utilizing whatever moisture he can find. It's a bold strategy.
Six and the 5 also appear to be playing peekaboo with the pace car driver right now.
See, that'd be so much more fun if we could just drive the pace car.
On this week's episode.
Yeah. Just gonna keep saying it. It is update day after all. Still no drivable pace car.
Big sad.
Field off at turn number 3. The pace car will make a drastic left turn down into pit road. Quapple and Majors on the front row for the restart. Here we go.
Oh, Millett might have missed a shift for a second. That could have been bad.
I don't know if he missed a shift or if he just didn't go. Didn't stack up the field too terribly as we stay green.
Gavin Henson's light just flashed before his eyes.
Majors to the inside of Quapple, trying to side draft just a bit here in the entry to the tunnel turn. Keeps it alongside. You don't see that very often. Guys running side by side through there, but they got it done, and he's still alongside. So they roll down into turn 3. Heavy braking into this corner. TJ gets it just below the yellow line, just kisses the grass on corner exit, and he's still there. What a run here to the start-finish line. Oh, and he clips Quapple. Not clear.
That's going to go over well in the competition meeting.
So TJ slides back to P7 here. Now they're 3 wide off of turn number 1. Pettis up top. Millett was in the middle. Checks up enough to get double file. Pettis will cross over. He's got a run on the race leader. Pettis is looking strong here tonight.
Well, and I think Quapple might be a little bit rattled too after what just happened. He might be just trying to gather his thoughts, catch his breath.
Or it could be the other way around. He's probably chuckling. Because through that exchange, he's still the race leader. Millett now to second, takes care of Dylan Pettis. A big run for the 31 on corner exit. Right up against the wall goes Carson Quapple. A drag race now to the tunnel turn.
Quapple way overdrove turn 1 there. You could just see the 31's nose point down sooner. Oh, walking it through the tunnel.
Gavin Hinson making his way into the top 5 alongside Adam Benefiel. Top 5 all in frame for a moment. Now they're into turn number 3. Maybe some contact there with Millett and Quapple. Millett on the throttle off the exit of 3. He'll retake the top spot.
Tried to drive it in on the little score, take the air off, and looks like he might have. Unfortunately, he got a little bit of the contact though. They were able to keep it straight and still battle back into 1.
Millett now gets a 3/10 advantage over P2, and now Quapple's got to worry about Dylan Pettis. Pettis gets a nose just ahead. Man, Millett is real early on throttle getting out of the corner. I don't know if he's just backing his corner entry up, but he is continuing to add distance between himself and the rest of this field.
Lift early, get back in the gas early. Also, when these cars are side by side, you could see it when Quapple and Millett were side by side. It just drags both of them back and packs everyone up around them. Now that Millett's clear, everyone else is single filed out, and they might be dragging him back just a bit. But when they were still side by side, he was pulling away from him quite a bit.
Hinson's got some pace here. Now, Hinson's one of those drivers with newer tires. Zach Millett's kind of the same boat, though. Quapple, the first car without fresh rubber. He runs P3 ahead of Dylan Pettis, same boat. This no tire change on that first caution, so far, really not a terrible call for these guys. It's not working out ideal, but it's still working out decently. I wouldn't make it a bad call by any means at this stage of the race. These guys have got all their tires still over the wall with about 60 laps to go.
Yeah, Steve, it appears they can't really go on the attack, but they're kind of just making a controlled fall. So
contact behind McCann. Durbin and Mormon banging doors through turn 1. Now, if you caught it, Colt, McCann was working his way through there. They were 3 wide. They got all out of sorts at the start-finish line.
I just saw cars scatter down the front stretch.
Well, I saw colors, and I'm like, let's see if I can figure out where this is. Mormon gets
bright
clear.
colors, Matt Mormon and Steve Durbin are not far behind.
They look like fishing lures. Some pretty good fishing in Northeast Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, Austin Beers running in the 15th spot. He's gained 5 from the drop of the green flag.
Rare back of the pack start for Austin Beers. Usually we see him qualify at least in the top 10. Oh, Brian McCann gets kind of shuffled up out of the way.
Mormon and Durbin going back at it.
So these two have not left each other alone. Oh, Evan Vecchi almost smacked the wall. You're going to see that right front tire start to give way. The guys are going to try to get back on the throttle when the nose isn't set, and it's not going to end well one of these times.
Tyndall appears to got the damage repaired to his number 62. He's good to go, and he's making moves back towards the front. Oh, contact.
Oh.
There goes the damage. Neil Quick involved in that as well. They both keep it semi-straight. He's going the right direction. We stay green.
62 tried to clear himself up, and Neil Quick didn't let him in.
Back to Austin Beers. This is a bit of a home race for him from Northampton, Pennsylvania. Only about 45 minutes or so from Pocono. There was a time where the modifieds ran here at Pocono Raceway. Certainly not on the big track. There was a smaller track that I think incorporated part of the pit area.
What could you imagine those things running around the big track?
I remember watching them
in the sim.
I remember watching them at the Glen a couple of years, and I think it was only like a 32-lap race, and I think they ran 27 of it under caution.
I believe it.
It was cool when they were at speed.
Yeah, that would a race on the big track at Pocono with those things. That would have to be a sim only thing. That would be a death trap. Otherwise,
that and they'd have to be restricted. I mean, they're fast enough at New Hampshire. It's only a 1 mile flat oval, but they run that place like the Cup cars run at Daytona. Drafting. Just go to the race one time if you get an opportunity to pop the scanner on and just listen to the spotters the whole race. Talk to the drivers. It sounds like you're watching a restrictor plate race. That's how much draft comes into play at that place. Quapple now in a battle with Adam Benefield. This would be for the 4th position. Benefield and Quapple both on the same tire strategy. It's the 76 of Brett Butler now into P6. He's up 11 positions. Same story for Josh Mears. He's running 5th, up 11. Started 16th here this afternoon, taking full advantage of fresh rubber underneath, but really impressive here. Dylan Pettis, Carson Quapple, still running out there on the set of tires they started on here tonight, maintaining a top 5 running position, and Pettis has actually put some distance on Quapple. The benefit that Carson's got right now is that Butler and Mears at least were side by side off of turn 3. We'll see how long it takes for the 76 to run down the 5.
Well, Steve, look who else also popped into the top 10 after getting a little bit of damage. I didn't see if he got fresh tires, but Dale Jr. has worked his way from the tail end of the longest line, battling Jason Nile just right now, but right behind his buddy TJ Majors.
Spent about 25 seconds in the box. Certainly had time to bolt on a set of 4 tires. That car did not appear to be very damaged, so that very well could have some fresh tires underneath him. Junior, Majors, and Jason Nile just all battling together here, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Not really a battle that we've missed, but going to the top 2, Gavin Henson has tracked down Zach Millett, and they are just running nose to tail the past couple of laps.
Previous lap, Millett and Henson were only 100th of a second apart. Millett takes it back here by about a 10th on this most recent lap. But yeah, Henson has run him down. I don't know if maybe Zach's saving some tire, Colt?
Well, I would imagine Henson's also saving some tire. He's just far enough back that he's grabbing the draft down the straightaway, but he can still lift early and not get caught in the dirty air of Zach Millett. It's prime drafting position here at Pocono. Allows him to save tires, save fuel if he needs to, and still keep up with the 31.
Butler has caught Dylan Pettis and Carson Quapple now in this mix as well. Forget caught. Butler clears. Move the 76 to P3. So new tires starting to show the benefit here later on in this run.
Steve, I'm interested to see as the run goes on, as that bottom groove in turn 3 starts to rubber up. I'm wondering if they are going to start running that higher lane you almost kind of drive straight into the corner. Lift early, let the car roll, and then drive straight off. You're running essentially the second or third seam up is your yellow line. Don't appear to be doing it now, but if that grips up, that's going to be fun to watch.
Plenty of time to go here. Again, 28 laps in of 80. Something to keep an eye on here as this race progresses. They lay down more rubber on the racetrack. Again, a long green flag run right now. Pit strategy-wise, here's where we stand. Billet, Hinson, Butler, they're 19 laps on this set of tires. They did take a set under that first caution, but you look at Pettis, Benefil, and Quapple, 28 laps on this set of tires. That's the same story for TJ Majors, who's fallen back to 10th. Robbie Adams asking about, did Pettis take tires back at lap 12? I think I answered your question before you got it to the chat, but that's your answer. Pettis on the original set of tires right now. Mentioning repeat 1975, talking about Adam Benefiel. Is good in fixed and open set races for Conti. You should see him on Team Conti on Saturday nights in the FLCC. The 8 and the 88 side by side at the line. It's the battle for P6.
These two have been glued together the past handful of laps.
Robbie Adams says they should need fuel soon. They've only been under the green here about 21 laps. The fuel window was about 25 to 30, depending on how aggressive you were at saving. So we're getting there. But speaking of those drivers that are on the original set of tires, he does make a good point. They haven't stopped for fuel yet, and they're at the maximum end of the fuel window if it all ran green. Obviously, we've had 2 cautions to break it up, but we're still getting close.
With Steve, under caution, you can save an immense amount of fuel. We were testing that Sunday night at Daytona, shutting our trucks off, clutching it, running in 4th gear. I mean, we saved probably, 90% of what a lap of fuel is under caution. So if these guys were still being conservative during those yellow flags, they probably could run an extra 4, 5, 6 laps.
Rich Keeter in the chat says the NASCAR officials ganging up on Junior here. I think it's the other way around. Junior's checking out. He's ganging up on Carson Quapple now. Quapple makes the move to the inside. I don't know if he's giving Junior the top here. Maybe Carson getting ready for a pit.
Carson's going to hang on down there. Oh, catches one of the curves. Yeah, he's coming to pit road.
Here he comes. Kyle's just going to come with him. I think that's Chris Wally in behind as well. So green flag pit stops here at Pocono Raceway. Robbie Adams says saving under caution is about 2 to 3 laps extra. Colt, can you confirm? I couldn't tell you the last time I ran a race.
At least 2 to 3 laps, yeah. Depending on how aggressive you are.
Going Racing says, is this fixed or open series? This is a fixed setup series. Once in a while they do run a custom setup, but every driver gets it with no adjustments.
Good pit stop for Jason Nile, just gets ahead of Carson Quapple.
Dylan Pettis will pull off. Oh, locks up the rears a bit. Oh, big time speed. Austin Beers. Way too fast into pit lane. He spins it around, doesn't hit anything, but I would venture a guess here. He's going to have a black flag, and indeed he does. Unsafe entry for the 64, if not speeding as well.
Never stopped driving it, though.
No, and he kept it off the wall, and he misses the pit box. Obviously, those tires got real hot.
used to be a 40-second hold rather than a drive-through.
Yeah, I think it's when you're on exit, you get the drive-through. On entry, you got to sit. So Millett continues to lead here at Pocono Raceway as some more drivers peel off. Adam Benefield, TJ Majors, Casey Bentz. So it's going to be 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel for TJ Majors. First pit stop of the day as we're just about 7 laps shy of the halfway point.
This could still work out for TJ and Carson Kvapil and all the other guys that are just now bolting on their first set of tires. They'll have one in the bank for later on in the race if they want it.
Race off of pit road between TJ and Adam Benefield. It shoots Adam up the racetrack. And Adam maintains the lead position between these two on exit.
Steve, Pocono has such a sketchy exit here on iRacing. Of course, I wouldn't want us to have to run all the way around the apron through turn 1, but it just funnels you out right into the racing line. If there's other cars coming, this is one of the few tracks where you want to call out your pit exit to prevent a Kevin LePage situation.
Cornell and DeFries. I'm just going to stay safe and keep it on the bottom.
Go around me.
On the off chance he's watching. Sometimes he does. That is an inside joke that goes back probably 5 years now, Colt, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
McCann and Schofield in pit lane.
But that's the fun part about hanging out with the same group of guys for half a dozen years.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is this iRacing service, if you do stick around long enough, you start to run into guys that, oh, I used to race with him back years ago, and they're still here doing the same thing that you are. Or you just stick around and keep running the same leagues that you've been running for years. That's kind of what we have here in the IROC Challenge Series. A lot of veterans here that have been in this series for 5+ years. 2020 was the established year for the IROC Series.
We actually had a similar situation last season. We had old Ken Couch joined a recruitment race for the PSRA, and we ran it, and we're like, hey, we like this guy, let's bring him in. Turns out he's part of the LSR crew.
There you go.
No idea.
So Robbie Adams says leaders should have about 6 to 8 more laps, but looking at it, Billett's got 27 laps on that tank of fuel here, and this is all green flag laps. In talking to Zach pre-race, I think 26 to 29 was kind of the max for them, at least. We heard higher from some other drivers. Maybe 31 was the max. But with Millett leading out here, no drafting help to worry about. He's on throttle. He might be saving a little bit. He's pretty good at that, but even still, stays out another lap, though. This will give us a real-world estimate here if we stay green to the time that 31 finally comes down to pit.
Well, he and the 39 have such a big gap on everyone else. They could sacrifice a few laps, but looking at lap time, Zach Millett's last lap was a 57.22. So let's see, we'll look at Carson Kvapil and Dylan Pettis. Carson ran a 55.41 and Pettis ran a 55.43. So quite the difference in the lap times.
Yeah, quite a bit of fall off for sure. We'll have to see how it cycles back out. But now they're on, varying strategies here. So this will kind of swap ends later on in the next run. But that kind of swaps it back in Kvapil's favor, I think, in that final stint to the finish. If we stay green. Obviously, cautions change the whole outlook.
Well, before the green flag cycle had started, it was the 6 and the 5 and the handful of guys who hadn't pitted up to that point. They were banking on a caution. Now it's the other way around. I think Millet might be banking on a caution, trying to save a set of tires for later on in the run.
So as they run, it's Zach Millet with the lead, Gavin Hinson second, Brent Butler back in P3, Dale Earnhardt Jr. up to the 4th position. Neil Quick running in 5th, and White Koch trying to take it away here. An aggressive block out of the 2. Not enough, though, as the 00 gets to the inside and takes the spot. Chuck Sweeting there in the 75. He runs in the 7th position. Devin Aker and Chris Quick, 8th, 9th. Zachary Cleek in 10th. And Millet's on pit lane, so is Gavin Hinson. Oh, Hinson. A little loose on entry, but straightens it up. So Millet went 30 laps. Butler stays out. He's on his 30th lap.
That lockup's going to hurt Gavin Hinson on exit just a little bit. I'd imagine he was just trying to drive right to the back bumper of the 31.
Big downshift out of somebody there. It might have been Dale Earnhardt Jr. You hear the RPMs right off the limiter.
Just goes to show how much grip is going away, how slow these cars are getting. They're trying to grab a gear that might not be there yet.
Let's go on board with Junior.
Butler.
Butler will come into pit. Dale Jr. will take over the race lead. Let's take a lap around Pocono Raceway with the driver, the number 8. Yeah, Junior's downshifting pretty hard, and he locks up the rears doing so. Yeah, he's the one spiking the RPMs.
You can just see how much he's struggling to get it through turn 1 there.
Redline it at 9,100 RPM into the tunnel turn. Oh, he's struggling.
You think he paddle shifts, or you think he's got a H pattern on his rig?
I don't know.
Because, boy, let me tell you, as someone who uses an H pattern, that is not fun having to downshift and upshift in the middle of a corner.
Earnhardt's got a couple more laps to go here before he can come down and pit. He may be waiting on a caution himself.
But Dale Jr.'s last lap time was a 57.79.
Sweeting with a 60. Steven Steffen, though, a 58.16. He's on the same strategy.
And that's how tight the race car is for these guys. They're trying to downshift to kick the rear end out and allow for a little bit more drive off.
You know, he's not saving any fuel.
Oh, no, not at all. In fact,
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
Dale Jr. from the lead into pit lane.
Good entry, though. He was one of the few that haven't locked up his tires or nearly spun out going in.
Slides to a stop in the pit box. Real good positioning to get out of there. So 4 tires and fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 14.77 seconds for the driver, the number 8, as Chuck Sweeting now goes to the top spot. Dylan Pettis has cycled back around. Chuck, the last driver to make his pit stop here. And he's gone 29, just about completing this one. Will he come down? Yes, he does.
Hang on to it, buddy.
Steve Luttrell will come down and pit with him. Luttrell back in 29th. So that'll move Dylan Pettis to the lead.
Austin Beers just shoving him down the front stretch.
Well, Austin's trying to get away, but he's also trying to put himself in a position to get his lap back, which I expect he'll do. Beers is the first car 1 lap down, so he's in the lucky dog position. Would love to get it back on his own here so he doesn't have to worry about, well, can I pit or can I not pit?
See, through all this, Pettis will cycle to the lead. Granted, he's got about 10 laps. Well, I said 10 laps. About 7 lap older tires than Carson Quaffle. Hold on, I'm checking my notes here. I don't believe that's correct. No, Steve, he's got a lap fresher tires than Carson Quaffle. He has cycled out to a huge lead of 3.7 seconds.
Quaffle had a slow stop, 15.95 to Dylan's 14.63. So there's the difference.
And Steve, I don't think Austin Beers is trying to pass Pettis. I think this is a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. He is trying to push him away to maintain the lead. And in return, if a caution comes out, he will be the lucky dog.
Well, if that's the plan. It does seem to be working.
They are flying.
56.22, the last lap for Dylan Pettis. Almost 0.6 quicker than second place Carson Quaffle, as now Millett takes the spot, or at least is challenging for it. Quaffle will settle in behind. 46 laps on the board here from Pocono Raceway. We're going to step aside, get a track limit side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Pocono Raceway, the 3-wide with DJG 200. Dylan Pettis continues to lead here at lap 50. Or does he? Zach Millett gets to the inside here, challenging for that top spot off at turn number 1. Here we go. Austin Beers in the mix, was trying to push the 19, but Millett has caught them. Beers pushes Pettis back out into the lead. Millett gets clear. Real wide exit here. Little arrow push behind Pettis.
He was trying his best to upset the rear end of the 31 car.
Millett back to the point here, 30 laps to go. Pettis back to second. Gavin Hinson still running third. Adam Benefield, TJ Majors, the top 5. Still interested to see how these strategies play out over the rest of the run. Colt, you got any guesses?
I literally just opened my calculator. I am looking at some notes that I made.
Oh, Brian McCann and Carson Quapple inches apart. McCann, though, definitely faster right now, and the caution is out.
Oh.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Matt Moorman coming together. This is out of the tunnel turn into 3, it looks like. Casey Bentz, some severe right front damage. Junior showing some damage. I don't know how bad it is, but he's going to come to pit lane.
Probably less than 30 seconds worth if I had to guess. I don't see anything too critical. Matt Mormon, hood missing as we passed him on pit road.
So this changes all of that strategy, Colt. Put your calculator back away. It looks like Junior's done. Oh, maybe just lost some connection. He's back in the car. That was just a connection issue, it looks like, for the 8. I didn't think the car looked that bad. I thought he was going to take a hike, but he stays with it. Right side is pretty well tore up here. Let's see if we can get a look what just happened here to put us under our 3rd caution of the night here about lap 51.
Oh.
Real time. Oh.
Here's Junior just kind of sailed it off into the corner thinking Mormon was going to give him more room, but oddly enough, Dale Jr. didn't really hit anything that hard. Mormon kind of protected him from the wall, and then he just barely glanced the inside wall.
Well, pit lane open here. So it's going to put everybody right to the edge of their fuel window, but I think we saw guys go 30 laps here. It's going to be lap, I think, 54 when we go back green. So I think this puts everybody in a good position right now. And I don't think anybody really has to save unless they're worried about a green-white checkered finish. Millett leads the race off pit lane. Pettis, Hinson, second, third. Majors and McCann appear to come out 4th and 5th.
If my calculations are correct, which they're usually not, I believe if we go green from here, everyone can make it on equal ground. But if there's green-white checkers, they could probably save enough for 1, maybe 2, but that if they go to a 3rd one, they will have to pit.
And it does look like Junior may be out of this one. Yeah, I can't pull him up. Dale Jr. retiring after this caution involving Matt Mormon. We'll go back and look at it again. Well, that's Casey Bentz.
Right front suspension destroyed on it.
I didn't realize Casey got involved in that. Let's back this up. Oh, he did catch a piece of that.
You see the 8 car already sliding kind of out of control. I don't think he thought Mormon was going to race him down into the corner. Big hit for Mormon.
That was a bigger hit for Junior than we thought.
He spends an awful lot of time just driving backwards. Immediately right front suspension failure for the 27. Oh yeah, you can see on the 8 car a significant higher number of camber on there.
Rich Keeter asking about Austin Beer's free pass. I believe so. He was in position. Beer's listed as a lead lap car here, so we're set to come back to green, though he is back.
He's on his way.
Where's he at? I lost him.
Should poke out of the corner right about now.
There he is.
Found him.
Should have time to get caught up to the pack here as they're in turn 3. Nope.
Now
Tunnel
it's equal
turn.
footing for everyone.
So if we run green to the end, it's just going to be a shootout. Everybody, as Colt said, kind of a reset. Fresh tires, fuel, we're good to go. And there's still sets of tires over the wall for, I think, at least everybody in the top 12. Chuck Sweeting's made 5 stops here tonight, so not sure about his situation, but just looking at the number of stops, the number of tires available, everybody's got at least 1 set. Ironically, though, Dylan Pettis has 2, and so does Carson Quapple.
If I'm Pettis, if I'm Hinson, Majors,
Green.
I am going like crazy trying to get past Millet before he can get away.
26 to go here at Pocono Raceway. A swap over here. Millet was to the bottom. Pettis was going to run in behind him. Millet swaps lanes to go to the top. Pettis follows him. It's Millet 1 and 2 with Pettis through turn 1.
There were Majors up out of the groove. They were almost 4 wide there for a second. Gavin Hinson going to shoot through into 3rd.
Through the tunnel turn, Millet leads Pettis and Hinson. Majors 4th. McCann back up into the 5th spot. McCann battling with Carson Quapple. Quapple's going to try and stick it in the middle. At least he thought about it. They settle out 2 wide off of turn number 3.
That could have been bad.
Millet, Pettis, and Hinson already putting ground on Majors and Quapple. been a great showing this afternoon for the likes of the 19 and the 39. Heard many a driver over the course of the season make comments post-race. To finish second to Zach Millet's almost like a win. It's not quite a win, but it's close. But these guys right now, I think Pettis and Hinson may even have something for the 31 here tonight.
Been finished second to Zach Millet myself by a significant margin, while I beat the third place car by a significant margin. Yes, it feels like a win.
Oh, trouble on the backstretch.
Big crash.
Chris Harrison, Chuck Sweeting at least. But we stay green.
No iRacing caution.
Oh, Harrison's tore up pretty good. Doesn't look bad from here, but it's not tracking right.
Chuck Sweeting had such a good run last week. Good points night. Was pretty confident coming into Pocono, ready for to gain some more ground in the point standings, and tore up.
Sweeting's going to stay on a racetrack here. Back to the race lead. It's Zach Millet, Pettis, and Hinson, the top three. Majors, Quapple, the top five. And they've caught this group. 22 laps to go across start-finish, this time by Pettis is right there.
Steve, I do think we're seeing a typical Zach Millet move, though. He's backing everyone up, trying to force them to battle amongst themselves for position. There's just simply not enough real estate. Trying to save tires, and that way he can pull away at the end. We saw him do that last week. And most likely what he's trying to do this time. Does anyone else have a better strategy for him, though?
That's the problem here, Zach, though. Strategy-wise, there's not much you're going to be able to do. Like you said, everybody's kind of on equal footing now. 22 laps to go. Everybody's got the same tires. Everybody's got the same fuel. The only thing that's really going to play into this is if we catch a couple more cautions, things can change a little bit. Millet does still have a set of tires over the wall. Dylan Pettis has two sets sitting over the wall. Hinson 1, Majors 2, Quapple 2. So is it in the best interest of the 6 and the 5 here, or even Dylan Pettis, to get a couple of late yellows here and take advantage, or it's just too many guys on the lead lap to chance it?
It would have to depend. I think if there was a caution in the next couple laps, that we would see the 6 and the 5 on pit road trying to get as much as they can get. But if we burned off more than, say, less than 10 to go, yeah, there's too many cars on the lead lap for them to make up that ground, unless all those cars followed them down and they were able to restart where they are now.
TJ Majors making a move on Hinson for third, drives it down into the corner. Quapple's going to follow him through.
Steve, you got to time your run so well. You see how much of a gap the 6 and the 19 now have. Just because they got side by side with the 39, it drags both cars back.
Quapple gets through, though. Still plenty of time, 21 to go. Millet trying to shake the 19 of Dylan Pettis.
You know, Steve, what that tells me, though, about Zach Millet is he's not 100% confident that he can drive away from the 19, or that the 19 won't make a dive on him. He's trying to break the draft, trying to prevent the 19 from following him down there. If he was confident in being able to hold on to the lead, or just trying to back everyone up, he would just stay up in line there, defend the position if the 19 went for it.
Pettis was a 10th quicker in the last lap, and ironically, both drivers carry the same fastest lap of the race at a 54.87. So Pettis definitely has the pace. Now, to be equal with the 31, that's great, but you're going to need more than that to get around him.
As the old saying goes, catching someone is one thing, passing is another, and he never quite let him go. He's always had the 31 caught, but can he pass him?
Colt, they were almost identical that last lap. A 55.84 for Zach and an 85 for Pettis. Quapple, though, closing the ground. Oh, and he's in a wall.
Oh.
Colt, how hard of a hit was that? Did he break anything on that number 19?
It's a pretty significant hit. We're about to find out. If anything lets go and the 19 ends up in the wall. I think he's all right. It looks straight. He didn't lose a ton of momentum. Could have just been a flat tank slap and might be good to go. But boy, he lost precious ground if they're running as close on lap times as we're seeing.
Cole Austin Beers is up to the 11th spot.
Talk about a roller coaster night for him.
You know, he didn't have a great qualifying effort. Put it on 20th to start tonight's race. Had a big mistake entering pit lane, spun the car around, did a great job driving it out of it to not hit anything, but lost ground, had to serve a penalty as a result. Went a lap down, got it back with the aid of a caution, and now he's knifing his way back through. If we catch another caution, that 64 is going to be right there in contention.
If you want to see someone who might be willing to try 2 tires or staying out, keep an eye on that green and white 64.
Battle for second, big time. A little bit of contact between Quapple and Pettis off turn number 3.
Steve, I don't know if that's so much a battle. I think Carson knows that Pettis is really fast and he's trying to push him. Seems like everyone is ganging up on the 31 car tonight.
Millett working the snake method down the straightaway here at Pocono. It's funny, you don't see that a whole lot in the early stages of this race, but as we get down to less than 20 to go, we're seeing it quite a bit. Quapple goes to the bottom.
Yeah, the 19 did not get through the tunnel very good. You can tell that he is definitely tighter after that contact. Still has pace, but the car's a little bit tighter.
Now,
I think Quapple is hunting.
I was just going to say, Carson Quapple setting his sights here on Zach Millett. Cross start finish at 16 laps to go. Millett with the advantage. 4/10 back to the 5 of Quapple, but Carson's been quick all night.
Quick, not afraid to make a move. Oh, Quapple kisses the wall ever so slightly. He is driving it for everything it's worth.
Just pulled a little bit of the wrap off, that's all.
Tightening the car up. And it's working. He's gaining ground.
Yeah, Quapple was quick too last time. He matched Zach Millett at 56.22. This time he's faster by 0.2.
You just see how much deeper into the corner Carson Quapple is driving in compared to Zach Millett.
Colt, I got to wonder here, all this left and right that Millett's doing here, trying to break the draft on the straightaway. Is he putting too much heat into those tires just in that alone?
That can put heat into it, more so the left sides than the rights, because you're having to pull the car against its own weight to get back up into the racing line. It'll add a little bit. It's not going to be a significant amount, but could upset the balance towards the end of the run.
Rich Keeter in the chat asking about fuel. How much more fuel is Zach burning compared to everybody else behind him? It's definitely more, but I don't think it's going to matter. He went 30 laps as the race leader on a tank of fuel previously. If he makes it to the end here, he's only going to need to go 28, so I think he'll be okay.
Now, if a caution comes out with, say, less than 5 to go, he'll be good for 1 green-white checker. But I don't know about beyond that. Everyone else towards the back end of this line, they're saving a significant amount more fuel than the front 4, I would say. So they might be good for 2 green-white checkers.
Last lap, Quapple matching Millet again, a 56.43 for both our top 2 drivers. TJ Majors a 56.53, same exact for Dylan Pettis. 13 to go now for Millet. Colton, Quapple have trouble getting out of 3 there?
I think he did. He kissed the wall ever so slightly. But I think he got into the throttle a little too early and the car pushed really bad on him.
Chuck Sweeting up ahead of the race leaders. He stayed on the racetrack after that crash. We never got a yellow for it.
He's going to pull off track. That was going to be a bad spot for the top 5 to catch him.
Rich Keeter says, it's Pocono. Fuel mileage always matters. Yeah, I think Millet's okay, though, at least in that department. If Quapple can cool his stuff down, he might be able to make another run at him here. There's plenty of time to do it. It'll be 12 laps to go for Zach Millet across the stripe.
TJ Majors having more connection issues, and look who is back in the top 5, Brian McCann.
And honestly, Colt, if we catch a caution, keep your eye on that 3 car, and honestly, keep an eye on him now anyway, because he seemed lights out fast at the drop of the green flag. If it weren't for the incident with him and Dale Jr., and I think it was the 17 if memory serves, things could be very different for the 3 right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Pettis nearly got him, though.
Oh, Adam Benefield out of shape in front of Hinson, but he straightens it up. Quapple now swapping positions with TJ Majors. He says, all right, TJ, go get him. I think Quapple might have realized he burned up his stuff trying to run down Zach Millet. He got there and was matching pace.
We've got about 1.5 seconds, though, to make up in 11 laps.
And here we go. I wonder if Quapple's going to be pushing the 6 like we saw Austin Beers pushing Dylan Pettis. Right now, though, and TJ losing connection again. Freaky Fast in the chat says, yeah, go number 3.
Dylan Pettis coming back at Brian McCann, though.
Yeah, what a run for Pettis here tonight.
Other blink from the 6 car.
And meanwhile, Zach Millet stretching things out. 1.6 seconds the advantage for the 31 here with 10 laps to go. 1/10 of a second faster the last time by than TJ Majors.
He's trying to leg it out, but as antsy as that top 5 is getting, I'd imagine he turned his rearview mirror off just to not even see what's happening behind him, because they've nearly wrecked about 6 times in the past 3 laps.
I think Majors is just enough faster than Quapple right now that Quapple can't really help him like we saw we saw Beers pushing Dylan Pettis earlier on in the race. So TJ's going to have to try and run Zach down all by himself.
That being said, there is only about 0.03 of a second difference between TJ and Zach Millet. I don't think it's going to be, that's not going to be enough to make up over the course of 9 laps, but
Dave Warmuth in the chat says he put it in Millet gear. He gone. But I don't know, TJ running back down. He cut 0.2 out of the lead there through the tunnel turn. And Millett takes it right back. And then some.
That might have been Millett lifting 100 yards sooner.
It's the battle on behind the leader. TJ Majors, Carson Quapple. Majors runs second. Quapple third. McCann all the way up into P4 after some struggles here tonight, but now he's battling with the Adam Benefield machine. The 0 on the track, the 22 on the scoreboard. Freaky Fast mentioning dirty air plays into this too. It certainly does. I don't think dirty air is a problem for Majors right now. He's too far back for it to matter. But in this group, certainly. And McCann clears himself off the nose of Pettis, and Pettis swatting flies in the cockpit of that number 19, and he keeps it straight.
That was almost a carbon copy of what happened to Brian McCann earlier off the rear bumper of Evan Vecchia. See, this back half of the top 5, they cannot keep doing this. Eventually, one of them is going to end up in the wall.
Benefield slams the door on Pettis. Pettis actually clipping the left front in the grass there. We saw Quapple doing that earlier tonight as well. Don't know if there was some benefit to getting the car to rotate by clipping that grass.
It's not so much the grass, it's the rumble strips, like what you see on the highway. Little divots in the side of the road, or rumble strips is what we've always called them. But you get down there, it upsets the left rear of the car, and it kind of turns, Quapple catches the wall.
That'll break the momentum, open the door for Brian McCann to take the third spot. Quapple's going to drive it back down into 3.
Just for the 5. If you get an award for being able to drive it, whoever drives it deepest into the corner, it would be the 5 car tonight.
So McCann will take the spot. 6 laps to go for Zach Millett.
Appeared in this group, Jason Nilgis in the 88.
Oh, Nilgis and Pettis. Whew, that was close.
To quote the great Darrell Waltrip, it just can't keep doing this, Steve.
Need to get Eric Dotson back up here if we're going to do that. Freaky Fast says, great broadcast, guys. I do this for leagues too, but good job calling the race. Oh, we've heard of you, Freaky Fast. Thanks for checking in, man. I'm glad you said hi. We've checked out your stuff too. Don't you worry.
Secret shop. See, by the end of this race, you're going to have the pit crews and the drivers of the 3, the 5, the 0, the 19. They're either all going to be laughing, drinking beer, or throwing punches by the end of this.
I just love that story talking about, I think it was Chocolate Myers talking about his dad back in the day. He's running back to get angry at somebody. He had a 2x4 in his hand. He walked up to somebody, he pulled a 38 pistol out and said, "Where you going with that?" Chocolate's dad says, "I was just looking for a place to put it down."
Never bring a 2x4 to a gunfight.
Millett across the stripe here, 4 laps remaining for what we believe is the new IROC champion, season 11. The math kind of calculated out. We thought all he had to do was take the green flag here tonight. He's led laps. He's led, I believe, the most laps. In fact, we'll take a look at it here. Zach Millett, 48 of 80 laps scheduled. So, yes, the most laps led for Zach Millett here this evening. It should indeed lock him up with the title this evening. And he's trying to finish it off with a checkered flag yet again here tonight.
Past the lap car of Steven Luttrell. Luttrell's going to give him plenty of room. Boy, TJ is trying. He is trying his heart out to get back up there. Just not quite enough speed, not enough time.
Millett now 0.2 of a lap faster the previous lap, but now Majors actually cuts into it, a 0.5 faster for the 6. Adam Benefield, a little scrape of the wall on the exit of turn number 1. Dylan Pettis has fallen back to 6th. Still a strong afternoon for the 19, but tires just not cooperating at this point. Remember watching Dale Jr. earlier on in the race, late in the run, downshifting 9,100 RPM on corner entry, just trying to get that race car to rotate. Evil King 6283. If TJ catches the bumper of Millett, he's going to blink out trying to hit him.
That would be Major's luck.
To be fair, TJ's been clean all night long.
And Steve, on that storyline, I mean, he made his life a little miserable on the restart that they were side by side. On the initial start, Majors pushed Millett pretty hard, but like you said, they have run pretty clean. I know they had a very, very long conversation several weeks ago. I don't know the outcome of it, and meant to talk to both of them. Never got around to it, but I would imagine they're at least cordial now. Not friends by any means. There's no Christmas cards being exchanged, but I don't think we're going to see the 31 or the 6 hunting each other down.
Well, they don't need to be friends. They're racers. That's not how this works. You bring your friends to the racetrack. But white flag in the air for Zach Millett. Final lap here from Pocono. So Millett down into turn 1. Steve Luttrell just kind of hanging with him here. Just, I want to watch what this guy's doing. Millett with 6 wins on the season. Put it on pole here tonight. Blistering lap, almost a full 10th faster than P2. 77 thousandths will make it sound better than it is, but man, it was a fast lap for Millett in qualifying. It's been the class of the field here this evening, putting on a clinic here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. And out of the final corner, turn number 3, back to start finish. Zach Millett will win the 3 wide with DJG 200. DJ Majors will settle for P2. Brian McCann, a valiant drive back to 3rd.
What a performance for the 31 tonight and this season as a whole.
Austin Beers a flash by on the high side. He salvages a 12th place finish. Just makes you wonder what could have been for the 64 here tonight. He had a fast car.
Gavin Henson as well, really fast tonight. Unfortunately, that last set of tires just didn't seem to sit well with him.
Robbie Adams asks, does Millett give lessons other than the clinic he just put on? I don't know if he does it officially, but he's been known to help guys out. So if you're interested, find him on Discord somewhere, even on Facebook. That S4 guy on Twitch, you can find him there as well. A very happy Zach Millett here at Pocono Raceway as he celebrates win number 7 on the season. Parks it at the start-finish line. We'll step aside here, get our break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers here in the booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Pocono Raceway, the penultimate race of the IROC Challenge Series in the books. A 3-wide with DJG 200. Zach Millett put it on pole position, led 51 laps to victory. Let's see if we get a word with the driver of the number 31 machine. Zach, it's Colt and Steve in the booth. You got us?
Hey, you guys.
Zach, congratulations, man. Win number 7 on the season, and I don't have any official responses out of the championship hunt this season, but we kind of all thought had to take the green flag here tonight for you to lock it up with the most laps led and the victory here. Kind of safe to assume here that the championship is yours.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, let somebody from New York like myself do the math on that one. So, yeah, a couple of guys said that we were going to just take the green flag and we would have clinched it. So, but hey, I mean, if we can go out and get the pole and get that W, that works too, right?
Put it on pole here tonight. Certainly a blistering fast lap, almost a full tenth faster than second place Brian McCann. But very quickly on the outside of this race, he fell back. We did talk to you pre-race. You said that the right front's going to burn off pretty quick here, so that might have been part of the strategy. Was that kind of the plan there, kind of save the tire there and let those guys go a little bit?
Yeah, it was the initial plan. It was just, I didn't expect the dirty air to be that bad. It was like that last restart there. I mean, all you really had to do was play the dirty air. Shout out to Pettis for being fast there. I was trying to load as much air on his nose as I could because I knew if he got in front, he'd be really hard to pass.
Yeah, Pettis had a strong run here tonight, ultimately finishing in the 6th spot as the tires fell off. But we look forward now, Homestead Miami Speedway, not worried about points. You're just going to go out there and throw all caution to the wind and go after an 8th victory of the season?
Yeah, just thinking about that, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll put some laps in and we'll go for it. It'll be fun either way, and we're definitely looking forward to it. It's been a great season. It's been a pleasure to race over here in IROC.
Now, we got to ask before we go, I wouldn't be a proper broadcaster if I didn't. Obviously got to see you and TJ battle it out here a little bit here this evening, and it seemed relatively clean. It was aggressive on both ends, but how was it from your side of things?
I thought it was great tonight. I mean, obviously we're not going to give each other any more room than needed, but we were both, clean enough to make it work. Like if I was trying to make a pass, maybe on the outside or whatever, he would pull down to kind of toe the guy on the inside to just go against me. But I mean, hey, that's racing, and that's clean. Even when we were beside each other, it was really good. It was really tight racing, and yeah, I can't ask for anything more than that.
It's kind of what we've all been wanting to see all season long, as you two battle it out clean. At the end of it, you take the checkered flag. TJ Majors finishes P2. I was hoping to get a word with TJ here tonight, but I don't know if we're going to see him in the booth. We'll wait for him here in a minute. We're going to do Brian McCann first. But, Zach, congratulations again here. First IROC Challenge Series and first IROC Challenge Series championship after your 7th win, man. Who do you want to thank?
I don't even know where to start. You, Steve, and Colt for the broadcast, as always, Crack Limits Network. It's always a pleasure to go back and watch these. Chris Wally, Craig Bristol, live admin, everything these guys do for this league, it's endless work, and with as busy as they are in real life, it's pretty amazing that they can, do as much as they do for this league. So shout out to those guys. Team Conti Sim Performance, as always, America Racing, my spotter up on the box, Danny Wiles, Russell Black, RB Racing, EMR Paintball. Shout out to Timmy, he's always popping in these things. He's more excited about these races than we are. He's the man. And shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
Real quick before we let you go, there was somebody in the chat asking if you teach lessons. Who was it? Well, maybe he's still watching, but I know in the past you've helped some guys out. I know you don't officially have like a iRacing school or anything like that, but do you guys help guys out usually, or what? Wherever they find you if they wanted some help.
Yeah, I've definitely done it in the past a bunch of times, but I don't know. I'm definitely more than willing to help out wherever and whenever. But to look at it this way, like when I jumped into the Conti side of things, I get my butt kicked over there. I mean, guys like Adam Benefiel and all the ambassadors and those guys are insane. They make me look like it's my first rookie day. So, my advice is to jump over onto the Team Conti Sim Performance Discord channel, and you can sign up for lessons, and it'll be lessons from the absolute best on the sim service. So that would definitely be what I would do.
Well, there you have it. Robbie Adams, if you're looking for some help, Team Conti Sim Performance on Discord. Check those guys out. They can certainly help you pick up your lap times. Zach, thanks for talking to us, man. Congratulations again, and good luck at Homestead.
Thanks, Steve.
Zach Millett, your race winner and champion here, the IROC Challenge Series. Again, TJ Majors, I was hoping to chat with him. I don't think we'll have him up here in the booth here tonight, so we'll swing over to Brian McCann, and Colt Ansley is down with the driver of the number 3. We'll pull Brian into the broadcast booth.
Brian McCann, it's Colt and Steve up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey.
Man, what a topsy-turvy night for you. Started up near the front, and it looked like you got into a little bit of a scuffle with Evan Vecchia and Dale Jr., and kind of were just calling back from there. Can you tell us about your night and what happened on that incident and how you were able to work your way back up to P2?
Yeah, it felt good at the start there. The car felt great. Felt like I kind of knew how to drive the track, and just like all season, made a mistake, and got that end of line penalty, and had to come back all the way to where I'm at now. Tough night.
Well, if that's a tough night, ended up in P2, I would love to see what a good night is. But very, very strong performance for you tonight. You got anyone you want to thank before you head off into the pits?
Yeah, Wally, for putting this on. He's really, got a lot of attention around it, and all the marketing and everything he's put behind. He's put a lot of time in it. So big shout out to him, the live admin, watching over us, everybody tuning in tonight, and you guys for doing the broadcast, and shout out to all the drivers. Amazing experience out here, getting to race with all the great drivers.
Next week you head to Homestead, Miami. I believe that's the finale for the season. How do you feel going to that track? Do you feel like you're going to have some pretty good speed? You just going to go for broke, or you got a strategy heading in there?
Usually do pretty good at that track. I just got to quit making mistakes. That's what's hurt me all season. Just a tiny mistake here and there, pit strategy, messing that up. I got to quit that. So if I can figure that out, hopefully I'll be back in the broadcast after the race.
All right, man. Well, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll see you next week at Homestead.
Later.
That's Brian McCann talking to Colt Ansley, your third-place finisher here at Pocono Raceway. Again, TJ Majors P2 here tonight. Unable to get a word with the driver, the number 6, but a solid season continuing. Just tough break. Missed it last week. Lost a lot of points in that no-show, but back in action here tonight. Almost had an opportunity here to take the win, but P2 honors for the 6 of TJ Majors. That'll do it for the broadcast, or the interview portion of our broadcast. Let's take a look here at our race results. Of course, we talked to Zach Millett and Brian McCann, but TJ Majors P2, Brian McCann third, Carson Quapple brings it home in the 4th spot, Adam Benefiel locking up a P5, a top 5 finish for the 22 machine. Dylan Pettis was 6th, a strong run tonight out of the 19. That 6th place finish is going to sting a little bit. He was a top 3 car most of the afternoon. Jason Nile just 7th, a strong run. Gavin Hinson was up there gambling with those top 3 drivers as well. He'll finish 8th. Timmy Schofield with a top 10 and 9th. Brent Butler 10th. Joshua Mears was 11th. Austin Beers, talk about what could have been. He had a fast race car, not the greatest qualifying effort. I think he started back in 20th. Spun the car out coming to pit lane. Got a penalty on top of it. Went a lap down. Got the lap back. Fought his way to the top 10 and then ultimately finishes 12th. But could have been a much better night for the 64. We'll see what happens next time. Steven Steffen was 13th. Devin Aker was 14th. William Tyndall 15th. Steve Durbin 16th. 17th place was Mike Koch. Chris Wally finishes in the 18th spot. Neil Quick was 19th. Slade Benish was 20th. 21st went to Zach Kleek. Evan Vecchia 22nd. Chris Harrison 23rd. Chris Quick 24th. Chuck Sweeting was 25th. Steve Luttrell 26th. 27th went to Kyle Hardy. Casey Bentz 28th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was rocking through the field until he got caught out in an accident that ultimately ended his day. He'll finish 29th. Matt Mormon was 30th. Cameron Brownlow 31st. Kyle White 32nd. And last but not least, didn't take the green flag here tonight, the number 16 of Marty Lindley will take 33rd place honors. That'll do it for us here at Pocono Raceway. Colt, an interesting race. Pocono always tends to put on an interesting race, and I say that in the most positive way possible. We had a question about fuel, and then we had that late caution that kind of erased that aspect of things, and then we just had a heads-up race all the way to the finish with Zach Millett taking top honors.
Yeah, Steve, we kind of talked about it off air. Pocono is one of those tracks that you kind of love to hate, but it always puts on a good show, and it's a ton of fun to drive. It's a strategy track to boot. And just looking at the leaderboard, 24 cars finished on the lead lap. Only 2 of them seemed to be laps down. Everyone else was DNFs. So really competitive race, all things considered, with Zach Millett running away there at the end. Just a really solid night. You know, Austin Beers, you kind of touched on his night. The only description I could give for that is just a barroom brawl to make his way up to the position that he finished in. But definitely a good, solid performance. Congratulations to Zach Millett. Definitely earned it. As much crap as we give him all the time, he did a great job this season.
IROC Challenge Series certainly becoming more and more competitive. Solid fields each and every week. Some NASCAR industry members taking part in it. We certainly appreciate their patronage. One more race to go before Season 11 wraps, but it won't be much of a break between the final race and the first race of Season 12. It's going to be about an 8 or 9 week break, and we'll be right back here at Track Limits Network for Season 12, so make sure you're here for it. But again, one more to go. Homestead Miami Speedway next week here on Track Limits Network. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.